Inheritance. So inheritance is a concept which is an important pillar of object-oriented programming, and this is one mechanism in Java by which one class is allowed to inherit the features that are the fields or methods of another class. There are different terminologies associated with inheritance which we are going to explore further in this video. They are derived class, subclass, base class, superclass, and the extends keyword. Let's understand all of them through one example here. As you see, in the package inheritance, here I have two programs, person1 and student2. So first in the person1, you have one f name as one string public type of variable, l name string public type, email string public type, one private member variable, protected member variable, and one default member variable. We will see what are those public, private, protected, and default later. But first, let's try to understand uh, understand the concept inheritance. So in the first person program, I have declared all the member variables, and we have one main function also, in which we have created one myObj as one object of person1 class, and trying to print all the values of the variables fname, lname, email, age1, age and age2 through the object myObj, as you see here. Now, here what I did, I have created another one class student2 in the same package inheritance here, and here this student2 is also called as subclass or derived class, which is derived from the class person1. Here, the person1 class can be called as base class, superclass, or parent class, which is giving access to the class student2, and by what? By the mechanism inheritance, and how the student2 class is going to derive or inherit the properties or all the member variables and functions of the base class or parent class person1, that is through this extends keyword. So this is the syntax. You need one access specifier, that is public, class keyword name, derived class name, extends keyword, then your parent class name, from which the derived class is supposed to be inherited or derived. Now what am I doing here? I have one graduation year which is local to this student2 class, and it's private here. So graduation years accessibility is limited to this class student2 only. Now what am I trying to do? Let me run it. So here I'm again creating one myObj object of the derived class student2, and here I'm trying to print the name, email, and all the member variables. So as you see here, name, email, age2, these are the member variables inside the parent class. So how is it supposed to uh, have all these member variables inside the student2 class from the base class or parent class person1? This is through this extendability or inheritance property. So if you see the name, email, age, the name, email here, the fname, lname, email are the public member variables. So their accessibility is not limited to only this person1 class. It can also be accessed outside the class also. Now all the public members are accessible for all classes. Let's go to the private access specifier now. The private access specifier, so any member variables which are private, it can be member variable or member function, anything. It is only accessible within the class in which it's declared. So age1 is declared here in the parent class. So here in this program, in the parent class program, through the main function, using the myObj object of the parent class person1, we can access the age1. But let's try something here. Here I have tried to access the age 1 private member variable inside the derived class or the child class or the subclass student 2. So what it is saying, it's saying one error, that is the age 1 is not visible. Why? Because this is a private member variable of the parent class. So that is why it's showing this error. Now let's move on to the protected one. So the protected one here, the member variable name is age, the value is 24. So the protected member variable is something which is accessible by the self class, that is the person 1, derived classes student 2, as well as other classes in the same package. So as long as, suppose say we have here we have only two classes, but let's say again we have some additional classes, suppose say other 5 classes also. So in all the 5 classes under this package inheritance, this protected member variable is age is accessible anywhere inside this package inheritance, but private is not. That is the protected member variable. So here we can access the age through the myObj object of parent person 1 class, and here also we can access it in the derived class as well. Now let's say default member variable. So default member variable is declared like this without any access specifier like public, private, protected. It doesn't have anything. So if you don't mention something, that means it's default. And here the default member variable age 2 is accessible by self class, that is the person class, and other classes in the same class, same package also. Okay, so these are the difference between all the access specifier, that is public, private, protected, and default access specifiers. Okay, yeah, so that's all in inheritance.